you never know what opportunities will come from that. And I've had several things developed into big opportunities just because I was able to bury the hatchet and not be a person that holds on to grudges.
Jackie, you mentioned integrity, and I believe that one of the things that builds integrity is adversity. So I like to highlight that on every episode, especially when we have guests on, because we all go through them, and I never want someone listening to believe that they're just going to start something and jump straight to the top, shoot straight to the top with no issues along the way. Slow it down a little bit and talk about some of those challenges that you might have had to face and overcome and maybe still deal with today, to keep this still running after all.
Yeah, so I mean, at first when I started BCI, I remember specifically reaching out to people and not getting any responses. I felt like, it felt bad to have, people that you thought would support you early on not support you. But what I've learned very quickly is that you do not, now that you're starting to gain momentum or gain some opportunities, cut those people off, because that is something that will stop you from getting more opportunities. And so I opened myself up to people who even rejected or didn't even give me the time of day before. I don't ask or, try to go back to that, but like, yeah, back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. No. I definitely maintain.
Mike Jones.
I gotta be real though, because a lot of times we want to hold on to things and hold grudges, and we misuse people because they misused us, and that's not the way to be. Obviously, I'm not going to preach, but it's just real good business for you to be open even to people who may have neglected or, slept on you early on, because later on down the line, they'll know, like, dude, man, that person, they was legit even when I wasn't even paying them no attention. You never know what opportunities will come from that. And I've had several things developed into big opportunities just because I was able to bury the hatchet and not be a person that holds on to grudges.
How did
Oh, go ahead, Moo. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I was just going to double back. How did you start gaining the attention of those people that might have overlooked you at first? Were there some strategic things that you started to see like, oh, this is what captures their attention?
Yeah, so this is going to be crazy. So I actually did not run up after those people who didn't respond to me at first. So I didn't hold a grudge, but I definitely didn't focus on them. Like, our organization focuses on people that are up and coming. There is a lot of talent out there that hasn't even been recognized or seen. And so for us, we didn't focus on the people who ignored us. When they ignored us, we said, cool, all right, talk to you later. But we didn't try to keep chasing after them or, doing things to get their attention. No, we've just moved on because there are a lot of people in this world. And so we definitely focused on the individuals that focused on us. And we still do to this day. Like, if you work with us, we gonna work with you. We don't care if you got 10 followers or 20,000. We gonna work with you. We gonna be a part of what you're doing and support you. And now it's really, came around because those people who ignored us, now they're trying to work with us. And we're like, hey, what's going on? Like, how you been? We didn't need you, but we want you. Like, come on board. We cool. Come on, be a part of this. So that's something I would tell people, like, hey, don't be chasing after people. If they're not ready to work with you, move on. There's plenty of other people in this world to work with.
That's good. That's good. Let's talk success. Your finest memory, your best success story in your agency. Talk about it. Who was it? If you want to drop names, whatever it is, let's talk success.
Yeah, so let's talk success. I definitely have worked with some great influencers. I'm excited that we've had the opportunity to, honestly, some people that you wouldn't even technically still know, like they have 100,000. One of my best friends right now, Chantel Smith, I started working with her when she had maybe 1,000 followers, and now she has over 100K. She was recently on Survivor, and she's doing some great things coming up. So she's one of my best friends now, and so I mentioned her because I care about relationships. I could care less about titles and who you were before and what you've done, but for me, I care about people with integrity and developing relationships. And so Chantel, one of my good friends now, who's who's blown up is somebody that I really love and I appreciate now. So go check her out. She's super funny and, she's really blowing up right now. So I've worked with her to get brand deals. We've worked with her to build her platform up to where it is. And so many other people. Honestly, I feel like we get so many messages from people who just are saying like, yo, how you featured us really bumped me and gave me some momentum, man. I can't believe like we got a 100,000 followers now when we started with 20. Like it's so quick for you to get opportunities once one person opens a door. So we've opened the door for a lot of influencers.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I think of, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, Jackie, but I think of, at least on with BCI, there is a concept of having to find talent. It's almost like being a talent scout, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And a big part of talent scout is, or just scouting in general, is you want to see people before they almost entirely blow up, right? It's like you're predicting that this person is going to do some incredible things. Any criterias that you've used, like what? I don't know if you want to give us the whole secret sauce, but can you give us a few ingredients of the secret sauce on what you look for, what you see that you're like, okay, if this person continues down this path, I can really see them doing some incredible things. So let's maybe reach out to them or at least build a relationship with them.
Yeah, I feel like that's my secret skill is being able to kind of like grab onto people before they explode. But some things that I look for actually really is the development of a timeline. And so I love it when people have content from maybe like, a year ago up until now, because it helps me to see their growth. It helps me to see like, okay, they started off here with this broke down looking camera and this crazy looking filter, but now they've developed they got this type of lighting and it looks better and their content looks more natural. And you can see the progression almost of their content and their style. And so it's almost like a predictive analytics, because now you can say, okay, if they went from that to that within this time frame, imagine what they could do with a little bit more exposure and a little bit more of like a direction, how quickly more they can develop. And so that's really what I do. Honestly, I look at the data. It's the nerd in me. I go back and I look at what they've done and how far they've come. And, for me, it's even sometimes about the opportunity for people. I look through their content. I go back and I look at the content that has gotten a lot of engagement, not necessarily views, but like likes and comments. Comments for me, if you got a lot of comments under your post, I don't even look at how many have viewed, because sometimes it just didn't pick up. But if your post is like, it has a lot of comments under it, that's usually an indicator that that piece was really insightful or people enjoyed it because they took the time out to not just look at it and like it, but to actually type. Like that's a great indicator that that piece of content is strong. So I look for that to see if they have a lot of engagement and interaction. I also DM people. To me, it's important to get to know them and to see how they respond to individuals that they don't know. And so for me, when I reach out to you, I've had people that have had great content, but I reached out to them and they didn't respond. And I'm like, I'll hold off on them just because I am looking for somebody who I can develop a relationship with. And so usually I try to get people who respond back. So that's another strategy of mine. Even with influencers that are big and very well known, you may not see their content on our page until they respond back to their DMs. So, unfortunately, my model has worked for me, though, because my relationships are heavy. Like the relationships, the people I have in my Rolodex right now would blow your mind, and the opportunities that we're working on, strategically using, like not just, oh man, I want to work with you. No. Sometimes you just develop relationships and you just let it build into something until you have the right opportunity. And so for us, we really build relationships. And so a lot of our content are based off of the people that have been able to build back with us.